Piper. Hi, sweetheart. You came in at the perfect time. Oh, okay. Right, I gotta start. Sorry, everybody. As you can see, the boss came in to check if everything's all right. Yes, hello, sweetheart. Hello. Sorry, everybody. Hang tight. Unexpected visitor. Hi. Hi. Great to see you. Great to see you. All right. Three, two, one. Go Nintendo Podcast, episode 917, the Tarountula Podcast. If you're watching the show, you can see that I'm a little disheveled because the cat just jumped up on the table as soon as I started the show. She came in as soon as I clicked the button. Piper's here. And you're getting hashtag catbutt right now. Wow. That's why you tune into the video version. Tarountula. The ball of threads wrapped around Tarountula's body is elastic enough to deflect the scythes of Scyther. Scyther! This Pokemon's natural enemy. Height is a foot, weighs 8.8 pounds. It is male and female. The category is String Ball, and its ability is Insomnia. The Pokemon's Insomnia prevents it from falling asleep. Hello, everybody. If you're an audio listener, you don't know this. If you're a video watcher, then you already know. No one is here with me today. It's all for good reason. We had bad storms here in Jersey. It's just stopping now. It's been going since 5 in the morning. We're under a flood warning. The stream in the back of our house is like coming up in the backyard. It's tough. So, dew hung back because of the weather. Nikki Hill was actually at a family thing. He's watching his nieces and nephews, just nieces. I'm horrible with kids, but he's doing a family thing. Mom Brain is actually at a school play, but she will be joining me for the show. She said she's going to be here. I asked her 3 times, and she should be here pretty soon. Actually, I think the play was an hour and started an hour and 15 minutes ago. So she will be here, but you're gonna have to put up with just me until then. So I apologize in advance. Although it's not just me, because of course my best friend from college days, Josh Grobot, is here. Josh, my friend, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling so great. Thanks for
That's
asking.
great to hear. How's it going? Everything good?
Hanging and banging.
Of course, hanging and banging, my friend. What have you been up to?
Call of Duty, bro.
You know, there's other games. Well, never mind. I was gonna say there's other games, and you're gonna go into your Tetris thing and all that stuff. Well, I'm glad you're here, Josh, and of course, George, you're here as well. George, how are you doing, my friend? I'm feeling great. Thanks for asking. Oh, George, are you getting along with Josh nowadays?
Boring.
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to start a fight between you two. Josh, George, thank you both for being here. And let me thank the Discord, every time. Like everything's ready, good to go. I thought I was extra on top of it today because it's just me, and I was like, let me make sure everything's set up, and I'm not in the Discord. I tell everybody else to go in the Discord, and I'm not there. Hello, Radical Defects, Blinded by Daylight, Giant Reggie. Oh my God. Cummed on Chicken is the name. Just reading the name. Tony De La Mancha. Ice Dilbert. Gecko Kitsune. Zikamudo. Vachi. Did I say Red Suza? Roth. Drake. Domino's cookies made with cream egg. Is this real? I see it's a British thing, but holy moly, you guys are living. Your Cadbury eggs over in the UK are better than ours. I know the same company makes them technically, but yours are way better because, I would say your chocolate is better, but that's just me. A Cadbury egg. I'll always eat a Cadbury egg. They're great, but when you get them from the other side, they're just that much better. Ice Dilbert, hello. Popple, hello. Vachi, hello. Solid Master Link, good to see you. SD, good to see you. I did not make everyone else mad. No, it's hi Wired, or I'm sorry, Weird. Steve Irwin, RIP. No, I did not make everyone else mad. I don't think I did. Weather related stuff and family related stuff, but I'm here. Mom Brain will be here. So you're put up with me until oh, hello, dude. Dude's in the chat right now. He's not even part of the show, and he's still watching. The poor guy. Go play a game. Go have some fun. Go play some solo Fortnite. That's what I was doing last night. Actually, I was. I wanted to play something. I was doing work, and I wrote my Patreon post, and I walked on a treadmill. I've shifted to walking at night just because I don't know. It feels better, and I like. I don't know if I'm gonna do it every night, but I have this whole week. I've been walking at night instead of during the day. I used to do my round of work on the site, the first round, then go downstairs and walk on the treadmill and then eat. And now I can just work, finish my first round, and then eat, which is more exciting to me. So I'm like, oh, midnight, I'll walk. So I was walking. I didn't get done with everything until like 4 in the morning, and I wanted to play something, and I was like, I'm playing something for a review that I can't talk about, but it's very story centric. And I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII Remake just because I'm working my way through that. I was like, but I really got to focus on that. And I was like, and I'm probably going to go to bed in like an hour because of the podcast, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up playing up Fortnite and playing solo. And it was fun. That game, man. That game. Talk about it forever, which I already have. How am I going to cope tonight on the podcast without everyone else winding you up? Great question. It's going to be one of those introspective, serious podcasts that we get every once in a great while. But yeah, exactly. SD's right. Said it before I could. SD says chat has to do it. You guys got to wind me up. I'm going to be paying extra close attention to chat because, as I always say, you guys are the what do they call it? The fourth man. I don't always say that, but you guys are a very important part of the show. Look at that! Wow, I could have been doing this all along. So yeah, I'll be paying extra close attention to what you guys have to say. Radical Defect says we can talk about Adventure Island 3 not having a conventional release since the NES or Japanese only Game Boy Advance port all night. I mean, that's the topic that's on everybody's mind this week and any given week, of course. No, I have some things I want to talk about before we get into regular news. And once again, um, not too much in the way of top stories. We're in that time period where, not a ton of stuff is coming out. The transition into spring is usually, from uh, from the beginning of the new year until like April. It's a bit of a quiet period. There are big games that come out, but not like it's not the game industry's busiest time. Although right now we're getting a couple games. I mean, Nintendo just put out a big game. Some would consider a big game, some would not. But not too much going on in the way of top stories, and with Nintendo being secretive about whatever's coming after Switch, it's quieter than usual. We have a few top stories, but there are things I can talk about. One of them is game related, one of them is not. One I want to talk about is the insane amount of porn on Twitter. Hi, Joe Shabadoo. Good to see you. Joe Shabadoo says, can't linger because I'm getting married tomorrow and things are a bit crazy. I wanted to wish everyone a happy cast. Well, we want to wish you a happy marriage. Congratulations, my friend. I hope it's a lovely day. I'm sure you're getting married to a wonderful person and you have a fantastic life ahead of you. Congratulations. Hope it's everything you want and more. Yes. So the big game, what big game didn't Nintendo just put out? Well, the big game I was referring to was Princess Peach Showtime. And some people would consider that a big game and other people would not. But we will I don't have anything. Well, I could talk a little bit about that. You know what? That actually relates to what I was going to talk about with Twitter and porn, oddly enough. So the amount of porn on Twitter X is insane. I know everybody's seen it. It's been like this for a few months. It's been ramped up ever since Musk took over Twitter. Um, the replies on there's always been porn on Twitter, but I should specifically say like porn bots are all over the place to the point that like multiple companies are referencing it as a joke. Like Devolver Digital has copied exactly what a lot of the porn bots say and tweeted it out to their followers to like get their attention for games. Devolver Digital is very funny, so they're doing that stuff. But if you've been on Twitter, there's certain messages you see over and over and over again that are porn bots, and they're just they flood the replies of everything. It's all over. If you see any conversation that's got any kind of steam, even not to tell you the truth, even if it's just a quiet corner of Twitter, you still there's a reply and it's porn related And I said this was related to Nintendo, and it is because Nintendo Drake, that's gay. Nintendo NY, the official Twitter account for the flagship store in New York, tweeted out like something about the Princess Peach Showtime launch event, and I caught it right when it went live and I wanted to post it, and I already had a reply, and I clicked, and it was censored because it was porn. I'm like, it's a Princess Peach Showtime tweet, and underneath is a naked woman. I don't have any problems with naked women or naked men or naked whatever. That's fine by me, but you know, right underneath a Princess Peach Showtime, like, I can't imagine who's gonna see that, and obviously Nintendo doesn't want that. Nintendo's not the only company that's in this situation. Everybody is. It's, see Gecko Kitsune, you know the spam. That's exactly how it's written. Um, so I can't imagine how upset companies are, and even people in general. You could be a regular Joe Schmo, and you're still on Twitter, and your comments and replies could be filled with these spam links. It's crazy. Um and I just can't get over it because of how much it's I could get into the whole Twitter, Musk, all that. I'm not doing that. It's just, to me, it was extra sad to see something like so wholesome and geared towards a very specific sector of the market, like Princess Peach Showtime. Hi, Nikki Hill. Good to see you. Getting flooded with that kind of stuff. It's horrendous. Again, not a prude, no problem with any of that stuff. Just, not exactly where you wanna see that kinda stuff underneath, E for everyone rated game discussions, but that's the social media landscape we're living in. Also, I wanna give another shout out to or it's another shout out for me, you guys don't know. Stephen Totillo, who used to work at MTV, then used to work at Kotaku and was running Kotaku, and then, blah, 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 blah. He does his own thing now. I believe it's GameFile? Could be wrong, but it's he does his own newsletter that you can subscribe to for cash. But he I don't know if any of you saw there was news about Kotaku's parent company telling their staff that they're shifting away from news focused posts and they want them to do guides, game guides, and supposedly they want them to do 50 guides a month. So however you feel about Kotaku, that's your own thing. However you feel about guides or news, I'm not getting into any of that. But Totillo was the former EIC over at Kotaku for a number of years, and he posted a message on Twitter about his dislike of this direction. A very straightforward, short, quick message, and his replies were insane. I knew they were gonna be bad, but they were, vile stuff on the internet is not news to anybody. We know that's the world we live in. It only gets worse with each passing year, but his replies were so bad. I was shocked, and I shouldn't be shocked because I know what the internet's like, and I face that stuff all the time, but still, if it's coming at me, it sucks, but I'm like, I'm used to it, par for the course. And Steven's been working on the internet for a million years too. Par for the course for him. It just sucks that I personally know him. And we've had a relationship pretty much since GoNintendo started and we helped each other out. He's always been extremely nice. I've met him in person a whole bunch of times. Great guy. It sucks when you see a friend out there sharing something and then their replies, like it was hundreds and hundreds, not an exaggeration, of replies that were vile and nasty and hello Colossus, and disgusting. And I was like, oh my lord, this is terrible. It was so bad that I reached out to him through DM just to talk to him and be like, hey, want to be one nice voice in the sea of garbage that's out there. And we had a quick little nice chat, but just wanted to give him a shout out because he's been through the ringer lately. And I would say he doesn't deserve it. But Blinded by Daylight, thanks for stopping in. You have a good day. We'll try to have a good podcast. But yeah, again, it's stupid for me to be like, boy, that internet, it's sure rough out there. But it's still disappointing. So sorry you had to go through that, Stephen. Hello, PC. Good to see you. We got family and friends and internet friends in here all together. This is great. PC bought Princess Peach Showtime. She sent me a picture. I saw it today. She's one of the girlies. And she doesn't just support Princess Daisy. She supports the true princess, Princess Peach. She says it's so fun. I played the demo. I haven't played the main game yet. I'll get into what I played later on. But I am excited to play that. So yeah, wanted to talk about that Twitter stuff. Okay, this is the main thing I wanted to get into before news, and I'm guessing Daisy Betrayal. You're right, SD. Um, the main thing I want to talk about, which I'm sure plenty of you have seen if you've been on the internet this week. So, Dragon's Dogma 2 is out. The reviews came out a few days before the game came out. The reviews were very good, very high. People really enjoying this game. Um, I have been very interested in Dragon's Dogma 2 because I like the open world aspect, and I know it's not like a Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne style game. It may be challenging, but it's not that kind of challenging. And I have nothing wrong with that. Like I really liked Bloodborne. And I enjoyed my time with Elden Ring as well. I just prefer combat that isn't like that. It's not really my style of gameplay. But to each their own. Hi, mom. My mom is here. This is great. Um, so that came out, and I know people were excited, and like I said, the reviews were really good. And if you've been on the internet, you've seen the backlash that has happened in the last few days. Now, this is very touchy right now because we're in the heat of the conversation about this, and people are you know how the internet works. Word starts to spread on a few things. The internet dogpiles a lot, and then it becomes, a humongous hot button issue, and people just go crazy about it. So I wanted to touch on it, and those who regularly listen to the show, I think or I hope would know that I'm level-headed with this kind of stuff, and I always try and see both sides or however many sides there are, and I try and offer an informed take on things. So I'm going to wade into this issue. We rarely get to talk about an issue right when it's like at the top, at the peak of its insanity, but that's where we are right now. So I'm gonna order things in levels of agreement for me personally, I guess. First off is I see people are complaining about how the game runs. And I think most of that is related to the PC side of things. Although I believe there's some frame rate issues on consoles as well, but PC is struggling more uh, than consoles, I believe, and dealing with crashes more. Um, so people are upset. They're paying $70 for a game that has frame rate issues and crashes a lot. Now, you guys may know that I'm not really all that bothered by frame rate issues. If they're very, very, very bad, I will certainly note them. Even if they're only a little bit bad, I'll note it in a review, but I'll go out of my way to say how I feel about them, whether they bother me or take away from the experience or whatever. So people yes, PC. I'm talking about Dragon's Dogma 2. People who are upset about the frame rate, I get it. I hear it. People are upset about the crashes. I get that too. I get that. Personally, I get that more. If a game crashes, that's wrong. If a game crashes one or two times throughout a 70-hour experience, whatever, but it's still not good. You don't want that to happen. So I understand the complaints there. I really don't have any pushback on that at all. You guys know how I feel, or most of you know how I feel about frame rate in general. I'm not picky, so some people are like 30 frames per second is unplayable, and I'm not getting into any of that. I've already discussed it. If you spent $70, it doesn't matter what you spent, to tell you the truth. If you spent $5 and you're getting a game with frame rate that is unacceptable to you and crashing all the time, I understand you being upset. So I get that. But then there's the other areas where people are much more upset about, and I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe because all right, let me just explain. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is loaded with strange microtransactions. Now, gamers microtransactions always something that causes a lot of vitriol. Nothing new there. The game has a whole bunch of microtransactions for things that don't really matter. Like you can't fast travel in the game without a stone. you can get the stone in the game and pay in-game currency to get it. You never have to spend real money to get it, but I think it's 10,000 whatever. I don't know. I haven't played the game yet. And you can only have one save file, and people are saying you have to pay to edit your character. That's not true, but we'll get into that. So there's microtransactions for things that you can do in the game for free. It's just like maybe you want to have these on hand, or maybe you don't want to have to play 5 hours to get this stuff, or maybe you don't want to grind to get the money to get it. You can just pay for it outright. Personally, do I have an issue with that stuff? I hate to see anyone nickel and dimed for anything in a game. I don't think there's anything wrong with them being there. I personally don't like it, and I personally don't like that aspect of the industry. But the fact that it is things that you can just unlock quicker by paying real money versus playing the game to grind them out and get them, as long as there's a valid way in the game to get them and it's not like a Herculean task that's ridiculous that pushes the player way more towards buying, I'm okay with that. And I've done my research, and it seems like this is really like a non-issue. Everything that you are offered to do through microtransactions can be done in the game and fairly easily within the first couple hours of the game. And this is like a what, 40 to 100-hour game, depending on how deep you are with it. So it's not pay to win. It's pay to make things easier for you if you want. And again, that's gross. That's predatory to a degree. I don't like it, but it doesn't enrage me because you can do the things in the game without having to pay money. And you're not forced, and you're not coerced, and you're not um the game isn't made unfairly hard because you're not spending the money. It's not like, well, pay $5 for this thing in real life or play 200 hours to get it. Then I'd be like, what the hell's going on here? That's not the case. It's just here, start out the game with this extra stuff if you want, pay a couple bucks. Again, people here, people are like microtransactions bad. Anybody who supports them bad. And I am not a fan of microtransactions. I need to make that very clear. I don't like that they're in Dragon's Dogma or whatever the game may be. Obviously, as the price of the game goes up, it gets even worse. So if you're paying $70 for a game and there's microtransactions, you're like, how much are they like? What are they going to milk me for here? But again, the fact that it is stuff that you can get in the game just by playing, just paying real money gets you that stuff easier or quicker. It's not horrendous to me. I don't like it, but I don't understand the huge pushback. I understand people are like, this shows like what companies are willing to do and how they want to milk customers, and it takes advantage of the customer. And I mean, I guess it takes advantage of the customer in some way, but also, this is going to sound like hail corporate, but part of the onus on the player is also to know what they're getting into. Like, I would never go into a game and be like, what's this thing? I better buy it. I'd be like, what is this? Let me look into it first and then see if I want to buy it or if I need to buy it or if I feel it's unfair that they're making me pay for this. So, you got to do a little due diligence if you're going to buy anything in a game and to see what it is or what it gets you or what it's worth. But, it's very hard to argue that point because it just sounds like you're being like, sure, put these in here and, put another $50 worth of microtransactions in a game. I don't like that. I do not. I stress that. I do not like it. But what is offered here, while scummy, and I don't like to see it, it's not necessary for the game. So you can just ignore it completely. It is sad that it's still there. I agree. But it's not something where I'm like, get your pitchforks, let's go crazy. I can't believe they're doing this. Microtransactions are the name of the game in today's age. So there's other wiggle room and points to make there, but hopefully I've stressed I'm not on the side of corporate. I don't like that these things are there, but at least what is there, you aren't like really pushed to buy. It's just if you don't feel like grinding things out, you can get it. Radical Defect says if a game is 60 or $70 already, the buck stops there for me, with the exception of full-fledged paid DLC. Yeah, everybody's got their own. Yes, Mom Brain should be here later. Everybody's got their own threshold. That's what it is. You vote with your wallet. So you buy Dragon's Dogma 2, you pay $70, and you're like, I'm not spending $1 more on this game. That's fine, 100%. You do that. You buy this game and you're like, I want to spend $10 so I get 5 of these stones and something else. Go right ahead, do whatever you want. Vote with your wallet. If you see that Dragon's Dogma 2 has any kind of microtransactions and you find that disgusting and you want to say, "Hey Capcom, I don't like this." That's fine too. Don't buy the game. I get it. I get it. It's just people need a little wiggle room for this kind of stuff, and it's not just this bad, this good, and it's not a defend Capcom against Capcom kind of thing. It's a state of the industry. Um, then there's the save file thing, which it's strange. It's certainly strange. Um, You can't, like, start a new game, you have to go in and delete your save file, be that on PC or console, wherever you're playing. So, you just have to go in and delete your save file to start a new game. It's a weird decision, I don't know why it's there, but it's not like you can't do it. There's a few more steps to do it on the PC than there is on Xbox or PlayStation, but if you wanna start a new game, you can. You just go in and delete your save, and then that's it. It's a strange decision. I don't know why Capcom did that. I don't know why it's just not there in the main menu. I don't get it. Don't understand it. I agree with everybody. I don't think it's the end of the world. If you couldn't do a new save at all, I'd be like, "This what the hell? This makes no sense." But you can. You just gotta delete your save. And like I said, I've seen people talk about the $2 um, pay to edit your character. That is something that is another microtransaction, but that is also not true. You can edit your character in the game. You just need to get something. And again, you pay a certain amount in game money, not real money. There's a place that does it. You just need, I forget what the item's called. I'm not playing the game, but again, I did all my research. There is something you can get. And very early on, I made a point of checking this out. It's like, within the first 2 hours, you can get this thing that allows you to edit your character at the specific shop. It's like a barber shop or something like that, and it's not just for hair, but you can do it. So again, there's a false narrative out there of saying you can't even edit your character if you don't pay $2 in real life. That's not true. So if you are hearing that, that is not true. That everything that I've researched and looked at and everything I've watched in videos specifically on this topic, multiple people have led me to believe that that is not the case. I've watched them go and do things in game to show that that is not the case. Hi, Backseat Studios. Good to see you. So if I'm incorrect on that, I apologize, but I did try to do my due diligence because if it was $2 to edit your character, I would be right there with people who are enraged. But more often than not, I think what happens is people want to be upset and want to be mad about stuff, and they get one little element that might irk them, and then they jump on the bandwagon. They're like, "This is bad. That is bad. All this sucks." Blah 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 blah. But you got to know the facts. You can be upset that microtransactions are in Dragon's Dogma 2, but don't include things that aren't true to the narrative, like or add things into the narrative that aren't true. That's what I should have said. So this editing isn't the case. And then the other thing is I can't tell you how many times I've seen comments from people who say microtransactions in a single player game are crazy. And I feel like that's a crazy statement to make. I don't know why microtransactions in a single player game are so like abhorrent to people. I don't get it. If anything, I would say microtransactions in a multiplayer game would be worse because that impacts other people. And, cosmetic microtransactions are one thing. Like I play Fortnite all the time. You can buy emotes and skins and different pickaxes and all that stuff. Does it impact gameplay? I mean, a skin is a skin, so you're going to see other people and maybe it changes their visibility to some degree. There's an argument to be made there that one skin may be harder to see than another. I'm not gonna say that's not impossible. I've I can't recall a time in Fortnite where I've been like, "That skin's so hard to see." But, there's people out there with, colorblind issues or other visual impairments and stuff like that, so there's wiggle room there. Dude, your name is being spoken a million times in the Discord. Hi, Steel Diver. Um, yes, Steel Diver. I did mention that the game struggles, especially on PC, and I'm with people on the complaints with that. If you're having trouble there and it's crashing and struggles to run, I'm with you. Um, But yeah, microtransactions for that, and then there's games with microtransactions that are multiplayer that are pay to win to some degree. You get certain perks and other things that help you in gameplay, and I'm totally against that. I don't like that. That's very few and far between nowadays, but it is there. But the idea that single player games having microtransactions is like the worst of the worst, I don't get it. Like I've never seen somebody explain why they feel that way. I've just seen them say they do feel that way. So if anybody listening right now live could tell me, I'd love to know. But I went through so many comments to try and find out why people think single player games shouldn't have microtransactions. Now, again, I don't want microtransactions. I don't like microtransactions. Outside of Fortnite, which is multiplayer, I can't think of a single game where I bought microtransactions related content. I have bought paid DLC expansions, like a whole new chapter or a whole new level or a whole new mode. But, the little nickel and dime stuff, I haven't bought any of that because I don't wanna spend the money there because it doesn't get me anything, and I'm not interested, but if others wanna buy it, go right ahead. Uh, thank you, Solomon Link, now I get it. So, it's wild to me that so many people are like, "Single player games shouldn't have microtransactions." A single player game is a single player game. Whatever you spend your money on in that game, it's only impacting you, like, if anything, that the argument should be made for single versus multiplayer. Take them out of multiplayer. So I feel. Hi, Anastasia Beaverhausen. Um, Steel Diver says, I'm anti microtransactions as it's just splitting up content that would have been included in games previously. However, I understand games are super expensive to make, which is why I'm okay with games being higher priced. And PC says, give Mike Rowe transactions a break. He seems like a nice guy. Um, so I don't get it. I really don't get why people are so against that idea. But all of this is snowballed into Capcom getting raked over the coals for this kind of stuff, and it's that's a bit odd to me because this is not the first game that they've done this with. I don't know why now it's struck such a nerve with everybody. Maybe it's because Dragon's Dogma, is that what it's called? Why am I having Dragon Dogma or Dragon's Dogma? Now, man, I'd love if I did this whole thing about the game and I'm saying the wrong name. I'm gonna go one of those things you say it so many times that you're like, "Am I saying that right?" You say a word and you're like, "Is that the word or did I just make up a word?" Um, Dragon's Dogma 2. Just want to make sure. Yes, Dragon's Dogma. Um, so I lost my train of thought. People are losing their mind over this stuff. Oh, that's what it was. Like Devil May Cry and other games from Capcom and Monster Hunter World have had these same kind of nickel and dime microtransactions, like long list of like spend $5 and get these things you get in the game, spend $2 and get these things you get in the game just by playing. So this is not new for Capcom. They've been doing it for years. But maybe the anticipation for Dragon's Dogma 2 was so high and the reviews are so good and people are coming to this franchise for the first time. They didn't play the original. Maybe that's why they're like, I can't believe Capcom's doing this. But, if this is your argument, where was it 5 years ago? Were you not just paying close enough attention or, you didn't care because it wasn't in a game you wanted? It's hard for you to be like, I understand people don't pay attention to every game. And if you see it now, you're like, I am against this now and I'm against it before. Now that I know of it, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But, there are going to be gamers who are not ignorant to this stuff. They're just like, it's in a game I don't want to play, so I don't care. But now they do care. So I don't know. It's been wild, but that's the Discord going on right now. And I've shared my thoughts because it's a huge topic. We've seen a couple outlets updating their reviews to add in blurbs about the microtransactions because there's so much pushback on it now. Hi, Tentavision. So IGN added something to their review to mention it, and plenty of outlets are getting crap because they're like, "You never mentioned the microtransactions." Blah blah blah. Some outlets have said like, "We never thought anything of it because it's not any different from a million other games," or I never spent any money on it, but I still should have mentioned it that it was there, or I never considered it, whatever the reason. So outlets are adding these things in, and yes, it should be mentioned. Certainly, you should tell people. That these elements are there and pointed out, and you can share an opinion too because it's a review, of course. But My understanding is Capcom in the review embargo did mention that all these things were going to be there. So it's not like Capcom was hiding it and they like had out, let's do the review, and then they snuck those things in there after launch. That's not the case. I've seen the embargo. I've seen the press, or I've seen the emails sent to press. So Capcom was upfront about it. But reviewers either didn't think that it was worth covering because they've seen it a million times before, or didn't notice it, or didn't care about it. Maybe they should have done more due diligence there. Whatever. I'm not here to lay blame on any of that, but the information was there, provided by Capcom. So, but the usual dogpiling happened, and the score on Steam is, I think it's mixed now. So a lot of people are upset. But the Steam stuff could be more related to how the game runs on PC, its frame rate and crashes. Again, it's very hard for me to talk about frame rate stuff because I'm not as sensitive as other people, and I think the idea that a 30 frames per second game is unplayable, it doesn't resonate with me. As far as a 30 frame per second game is fine, but I'm also fine with a game that's like 20 frames per second and dips to 15 every once in a while. I don't care. But I know I'm in a minority on that, and I'm not saying those who care are wrong, but anybody that says 30 frames per second is unplayable, I think you're being a little dramatic about it, but I know people get motion sickness and things like that, so I understand. Not throwing anybody under the bus, but that's been the big talk this week, so that's why we're talking about it. Tendivision says, well, it's not the frame rate, it's the consistency. Consistency. Yeah, that can really irk people. If you're running 60 and then it drops to 30 and then 45 and down to 30 and back up to 60, it can be jarring for people, and it can cause like I said, motion sickness and other issues. So I understand that. I get it. If Capcom was like, here's a 30 frames per second capped version to be a steady frame rate, I would imagine some would be okay, but the vast majority, at least online, who leave comments would be like, this is unacceptable. We'll have that discussion if and when it happens. But there's my 2 cents on what's going on with Dragon's Dogma and the big discourse as far as the internet goes with gaming right now. Capcom, that's right, Drake. They're gonna put all their games locked at 30 frames per second and change their name to Capcom. Radical Defect says the only time I've ever had frame rate issues get to me is with Scarlet and Violet, but that game is often like a slideshow and a technical mess. That's what I've heard. I have not played it, but that is what I have heard. I would imagine Pokemon Legends, whatever the new one is, ZA. I don't remember the name. I'm sure that will be, technically speaking, a much better game because Game Freak and Pokemon Company know they're under the microscope right now for their next release. So we'll see what happens. But that's that. That's enough of that topic. This always happens when I'm doing a solo show. I talk so much and so quickly that I get parched. Excuse me for a second. All right. Oh, no, I don't know where the news jingle is. Mom Brain texted me and said she's on her way. So she'll be here shortly and join me, but it's time for news. Usually we... Oh, look at that. Look at that. I can do it all. What do we got in the top stories? Let me tell you. Discord, I'm sorry. When I'm doing top stories, I got to sneak away to the site to look at what's going on. What do we have this week? We had the European hardware and software sales for February 2024. Would anybody at the table like to guess? Josh? George? Anybody? Any comments here? Josh, you're a robot.
Shut up. I don't care.
I thought you could handle numbers better, but never mind.
Sorry, I was
sorry. You go back to Call of Duty. That's fine. European hardware software sales, let me tell you, February 2024 will start with number 10. Top games in Europe for all of February. Remember, any Nintendo game on this list does not include the digital numbers. Number 10, Need for Speed Heat. Number 9, Skull and Bones. Number 8, It Takes Two. Number 7, Hogwarts Legacy. Number 6, Rat Hat Redemption 2. Number 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Number 2, EA Sports FC 24. And number 1, Helldivers. 16 million games were sold across Europe for February. This is up 21% over the previous February, but please note, February 2024 was 4 weeks. February 2024 was 5 weeks, whereas last year was 4 weeks. As far as hardware goes, 475,000 pieces of hardware were sold. This is up 11% over the year before, but again, like I just said, 5 weeks versus 4. PS5 was number 1, Switch was number 2, Xbox was number 3 in terms of units sold. When it came to Switch was down 17% year over year. Not a big deal. System's in its 7th year. Sticer says, surprised to see Skull and Bones so high on the list. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about that one. Skull and Bones was number 9. Yeah, not a great start. So 16 million games were sold. Wonder how much of that was Skull and Bones. Under 1 million for sure, but I don't know. But yeah, Skull and Bones seems like it's having a really rough time of things. And my understanding from reading reviews is deservedly so. You know, that game took a long time and got delayed a whole bunch, and people having wishy-washy on it at best. And now that it's out, yeah, it was pretty. It seems like Ubisoft was finally like, all right, let's just get this out and pretend it never happened. George is not on PLO, paid lime off. He can never take any time off. He's got to hold those limes. He's right here, always struggling, holding on to the limes for the rest of us. What else we got? We had an update on the Switch emulator situation. So very quickly, I'll give you a recap of what happened. Nintendo went after the team that was creating the Yuzu Switch emulator. It was an emulator that was already out. Nintendo wanted to stop them because they said the emulator used something that was proprietary to Nintendo, and it was, illegally bypassed software encryption and blah, blah, blah. It caused direct harm to game sales. They lost over 1 million units sold of Tears of the Kingdom to the Yuzu situation, whatever. Tropic Haze was the team that was behind Yuzu. They got a lawyer. They settled with Nintendo. They agreed to pay Nintendo $2.4 million and turn over the website for Yuzu to Nintendo as well. And things are moving very quickly because the judge signed off on it. And no adjustments to the settlement were made. So that's it, $2.4 million to Nintendo. And Nintendo now has taken control of that web domain. So if you go to Yuzu's domain, whether you go to the secure version or the insecure version, they both lead to a blank page. So Nintendo has them and it's doing nothing with them, whether they park them somewhere else or have them redirect to Nintendo's official website, which I don't think they would do. But Nintendo's got them. They're under their control. So that all happened within a span of like a week and a half. Nintendo was like, hey, don't do this. Yuzu was like, let's get a lawyer. The lawyer was like, you're in trouble. And they were like, let's settle. Nintendo says, okay, 2.4 million. We get the domains. And Yuzu says, okay. And there you go, man. So it happened very quickly. And in the comments, I updated the previous story. So the comments are old on that one. I'll jump into the Discord. Moving on, we also have the U.S. software and hardware for North America in February 2024. Remember these? Oh.
Hey, be quiet. I think I hear something. NPD, 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 NPD. Is that what I sound like?
Remember, Josh, it's Circana, not MPD.
Shut up. I don't care.
I had a feeling you would say that. We got the top 20 for February 2024 in the United States. Same deal as Europe. Nintendo's numbers do not include digital. So if there's a Nintendo deal or a game on this list, it's physical sales only, starting with number 20. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. 19, Rainbow Six Siege. 18, Mortal Kombat 1. 17, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. 16, Minecraft. 15, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. 14, E-Ring Elden R. 13, Marvel Spider-Man 2. 12, EA Sports FC 24. 11, debuted at number 11, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So higher than 11 with the digital sales, but we don't know the number. 10, Hogwarts Legacy. 9, Persona 3. 8, Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth Twin Pack. So people jumped on both games in one. 7, Suicide Squad. 6, Madden. 5, Tekken 8. 4, Skull and Bones. So a high debut here in the States too. I imagine it's going to, maybe it'll be in the top 20 for next month, but after that it'll be gone. 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. And 1, Helldivers 2. We now know Helldivers 2 has sold over 8 million units, so it's doing very well. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the real story there. It made number 2 individually and number 8 in the twin pack. So quite the start for that game. We don't need to do all that. We have the top 10 mobile games for the month. Pokemon Go was number 5. It jumped up 5 places this month. It was number 10 last month. So had a very sizable jump. It's always in the top 10. It's been in the top 10 since the game originally launched, but went from 10 to 5 this time. So something went down in that game. You know, I cover the game every single week, but when I'm not in the ecosystem and playing, it's hard for me to remember what's going on. But something happened where people wanted to spend more money than usual. So that's what they did. And number 1, of course, is Monopoly Go. We learned it's Hasbro, right? They spent like, I think the report said $500 million on advertising for that game. So I don't know why all of a sudden Hasbro was like, Monopoly Go, mobile game, let's advertise the hell out of this. But it worked. I mean, that game's loaded with microtransactions as well. So probably why they were like, let's really put it in front of everybody's faces and spend $500 million doing so, but we'll make that money back. We don't know how much the game is made. I'm sure it's made more than that. So we also have hardware as usual. Circana doesn't share hardware numbers in terms of the actual numbers, but they do share placement and other stats. Hardware spending was down 30% compared to a year ago. All console platforms were down a minimum of 19% compared to a year ago. PS5 was number 1 in unit and dollar sales. Switch was number 2 in unit sales, number 3 in dollars, because, again, Switch is cheaper than the other platforms. Xbox Series was number 3 in terms of units sold and 2 in terms of revenue. People do not want that Xbox. And then we have the top 10 on Switch. There she is.
You want me to sit in Juice spot?
No, I set up the camera for us. Sorry, you got to sit next to me. Oh, look at her coming in.
Oh, Peeba!
Right when I started the show, she came in and jumped up on the table.
She was like, wait.
Like I clicked the button and she walked down the hallway and jumped on the table.
The rot mother isn't here. You can't start without the rot mother, she says.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I got like from talking so much, I got like a raspy throat. I can feel it.
Do you want me to
rub my neck?
Talk?
No, I mean, just this little banter back and forth is helpful.
Okay.
Let me do the top 10 here, and then I'll talk to you more.
Oh.
Top 10 on Switch.
You should have just had Josh do it.
For the month.
Shut up. I don't care.
Mario Party Superstars number 10. Minecraft number 9.
Josh.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet number 8. Tears of the Kingdom 7. Just Dance 2024 6. Smash Brothers 5. Hogwarts Legacy 4. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 3. Super Mario Brothers Wonder 2. And Mario vs. Donkey Kong 1. That goes to show why Nintendo puts out remakes and remasters, because just like everybody else, they do really well. So there is your snapshot of how things are going in the States in terms of game sales. Mom Brain
Piper is now staring.
Oh my God, the chat got loaded up
into
with
the
cats.
bathroom.
Look at that beautiful cat from PC. Look at that beautiful cat from Radical Defect. Look at that beautiful cartoon cat from Raw.
Look at them stinky babies.
Love it. Love it. Mom Brain, how was you talk for a minute? How was your play?
Well, first of all, our friend was there, who has a daughter in middle school.
The Gravity, or the one we got the
No. Think cupcake in your face.
Oh,
that
yes.
Friend.
Friend, loosely, ever since that day.
No. Unexpectedly, so that was nice.
You talked to her?
Yeah, so I
That's nice.
well, when you go in, like you have to sit in the cafeteria and wait for like the doors to open in the theater. So I was like sitting there and I brought a paper that I'm reading for grad school. And all of a sudden somebody comes and sits next to me. And before I look, I think to myself, like, son of a bitch, like, I don't want anybody sitting by, like, you know, I'm off. I'm a teacher. I'm just here for the play.
Hi, Blood Ocean.
So then I realized it was her. So that was really lovely. And then we sat like in the back on an end, which was nice. The kids did such an incredible job. So, you know, one of my things that I find hilarious, you know, like you like to watch people fall on.
I love it.
Old people.
By the way, I'm just going to throw this in here now before I forget. The cat needs to be fed. That's why she's sitting here. Look at her.
We'll go feed her.
You want me to feed her?
I mean, mean, you can. I'll carry the show for a minute.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, so yeah, so I teach in a middle school. The middle school put on a production of Little Mermaid Junior, and I happen to have a bunch of the 8th grade young ladies who were in the play have befriended me. I think they feel bad for me. They see me. They think, look at this stray teacher who looks sad and pathetic. Let us befriend her. So they wanted me to come see the play. So I went to see the play. First of all, one thing that will never cease to bring tears to my eyes is people performing things that they're super passionate about. So like when you see a group of kids like performing an instrument or whatever it is that their like craft is, it really gets me, makes me well up. I guess it just like does my old withered old lady heart good to see kids passionate about things and being proud of themselves and their hard work. So raw meat likes to giggle at old people falling in slow motion. My thing that always gets me, never fails, is when there is a band or a singer or an instrument and they are really off, like off the beat or like squeaky with like a clarinet, or they're off key singing. I think it's partially because it's like forbidden, right? Like you shouldn't laugh. And I'm not laughing at them. There's just something about it that tickles me. And one of the performers performing a lead male role did not have a great singing voice. Well, or maybe he did, but just was like a little off key. And I, you can't laugh because of the kid, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And also that child's parents could be sitting right by you. But it was really difficult for me to keep it together. And our friend who was there,
Oh boy.
this was her third viewing of this production. And so when I grabbed her arm, she was like, this is the third time I'm seeing this.
It's like one of those situations where, I remember being in school back in the day where something's really funny and you're sitting with a friend and you have a horrible time not laughing. It just makes it that much funnier.
It was, but the kids did an incredible job. The teachers, it was run by 2 teachers. And if those teachers hadn't taken on the drama club, this play wouldn't have happened. It was really nice to see, because it's a middle school, we go up to 8th grade. The 8th graders were really like sentimental and sad about like leaving the middle school next year to go to high school. So that was like really, it was just lovely. And it's wonderful to see like the multiple varied talents of all of our kids. I'm the best. And it's not something you get to see every day, right? Like some kids you're like, wow, I didn't know that was like your jam. You're usually real quiet and whatever. So it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Yes. And the families were there. Like it always gets me when like a grandma is hugging their grandkid because they're just so proud of them. Like reminds me when I was a kid. So it was good for my soul to go and support the arts. And tickets were $10, but teachers go free. So darn it, I could have gone.
Failure.
I could have gone thrice.
Was that the last one?
Today was the last one, yeah.
And at 2 was the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so sorry. Next time you'll have to do a bit more due diligence and find out how many times you can go.
Yeah. Once was enough.
All right. Let me do this in the way that it should be done. Mom Brain, you're on soundboard duty now.
Okay.
North American releases for this week. What do we got? Let me tell you. Fortunate Duo. Aha, Let's Photo Hunt. Air Traffic Sim Airport Dispatcher Simulator. Animal Buddies Party Beasts. April's Diary. Arcade Archives Mauser. Not that Mauser. Around the World Travel to Brazil Collector's Edition. Attack of the Cat. Are you not going to play my music?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I put you in charge.
I'm so sorry. I forgot. It's new.
Attack of the Karens. Bad Chicken. Bio Ink Redemption,
Bad chicken.
Crypt Stalker, Darkness and Flame, Demon Drop DX, Farming Simulator Kids, Flower Shop Winter in Fairbrook, Instant Death, Jello Run, Crimson, MLB The Show 24, Monster Tribe, Mortal Fight Lethal Revenge, Multi-Maze 3D, Nice Disc, The Last Hot Blood, Paper Dash, City Hustle, Portal Shotgun Teleport, Princess Peach Showtime, Pull the Pin Ball Physic Puzzle, Reaper Survivors, Resento, Scott Whiskers in The Search for Mr. Fumbleclaw. That sounds amazing. Sector 98, Sherlock Purr 2.
Meow.
Perfect timing. Shockman Collection Volume 1. South Park Snow Day comes out on the 26th. Special Forces Strike Tactical SWAT Shooter. Stickman Jailbreak 2024. Stunt Paradise. Sunny Cafe. Sushi Battle Rambunctiously. Sushi Shot Online. The Legend of Legacy HD Remastered. Toy Box Easter. Virtual Girlfriend Dating Simulator.
Hell yeah.
Western Frontier. There are, wow, getting an ad for Disney Plus and The Simpsons on the site. That's, I mean, as far as ads go. And, you know, just in, I'll handle the Nikki Sweet releases if that's okay with you.
Yes, but I was wondering if we were going to do...
GoNintendo podcast.
New segment.
What's the new segment again?
New segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mom Brain filling in for everyone's favorite, Do Michaels, for a little segment he likes to call We Speak Your Name. Today, I would like to speak two names. Those names are Nicholas Hill and Do Michaels.
Both of which were or are in the chat.
May they be happy. May they be free.
Dry.
May they be dry, and may they not be Dorcases.
Okay. I'm
Malorcases.
glad you did that. Yeah, bow ties. No bow ties, no suspenders for Dorcas Malorcas. We got the European Suite releases. Josh, if you could.
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nikki's sweet releases.
We got the European releases for March 21st, Year of Our Lord 2024. Here we go. April's Diary, Attack of the Karens. I'll say some of these weird for Nikki Hill. Baron of Blood, Cosmic Hair.
What? Like Hare?
You got it. Cozy Hamlets, Dinosaur Crossing, Unravel and Discover.
Ooh.
Dog Racing, Lovely Pet Friend's Paw. Oh, this one's for Nikki Hill. Dreamland Solitaire, Dragon's Fury. Finding America, the West Collector's Edition. We found it. Flower Shop, Winter in Fairbrook. Oh, another one perfect for Nikki Hill if he was only here. Hentai Girls, Anime Girls, Succubus. Followed by Hentai Girls Panic. Hot Rider Racing Simulator. Infantry Attack. Jello Run. Crimson. Master Maker 3D Ultimate. Move the Show 24. Mortal Fight Lethal Revenge. Orion Haste. Paper Dash City Hustle. PJ Masks Power Heroes Mighty Alliance. Power of 10. Princess Peach Showtime. Rainbow Moon. Scott Whiskers in The Search for Mr. Fumbleclaw. Perfect. Season Match Bundle. Sector 98. Sherlock Purr 2. Sky Runners Infinite Parkour. Special Forces Strike Tactical SWAT Shooter. Stickman Jailbreak 2024. Stunt Paradise. Sushi Shot.
I thought about that too.
Sushi Shot Online. Trucks and Forklift Logistics Simulator. And finally, Western Frontier. Storbus Corbin says, Anal Beads, the show 24. That's right. I said MULB the show, but MLB the show or Anal Beads the show 24. You can get them all on the Switch right now. I'm going to skip that one. Our final top story, a Pokemon fan game archive has been yanked, taken down from the internet due to a DMCA notice. So this site hosted a ton of fan-made Pokemon games, and obviously some of them used official sprites and artwork from Pokemon games, but without the Pokemon Company's permission. So it's existed online for a long time and was always what's the word? What's the way to say this? They were always flaunting their existence in front of Pokemon Company and Nintendo because it's not allowed. But would Pokemon Company ever do something? Well, they did. The people behind the site are Martin, the owner, and Andy, the manager, put out a note saying, "It is with a heavy heart that we announce that the Relic Castle website has been taken down following a DMCA takedown notice. The site has always been a nonprofit, ad-free, tight-knit community, and we pride ourselves in what we have achieved. Members have felt at home, made friends, and even careers with us. It is with deep regret that I have to inform you that the forum part of this community, which turned 10 years old, has come to an end. Over 20,000 members, 65,000 posts. It's a home to many. The Discord server will stick around, though. And the site will be visible through Wayback Machine or something like that. But as far as a spot to go to play Pokemon fan games, no more. So if you made friends there, you can keep them. Go to the Discord. But if you were playing fan-made games there, can't do it. All gone. The time has come for it to close. Pokemon Company obviously hasn't commented on this, nor has Nintendo, but we all know they were behind it. And whenever you do anything like that, you're always courting potential trouble from Nintendo. Or Pokemon Company? Do I like that they're like that? No. Do I defend that they're like that? Mostly no, but they are within their legal right. I wish they weren't like that. If somebody isn't looking to profit off of a game and there is no revenue coming in, I don't think there's any harm with it existing. But again, Pokemon could be put into fan-made games that Nintendo or Pokemon Company doesn't like, where it's like, a Pikachu with big boobs or Mr. Mime with a giant dick, or I don't know. I don't know. So I see it. I understand it. I don't like it, but that's what it is. And that's our top stories for today, Mom Brain.
A big hello to my fans.
Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
Penny and Flow.
How did it go?
Slow and low. That is the tempo.
That's all you played? Thank you for that compliment, Backseat Studio.
I think so.
You haven't played much lately. What have you been doing instead?
Reading.
Keep going.
Watching Frieren.
Watching Frieren. You watched a lot of Frieren.
I did.
You're pretty up there.
Yeah. I'm as far as I can go, dubbed.
That may have changed yesterday. I don't know. I meant to look, but I am done with Frieren. The final episode came out yesterday, or the final episode of the first season came out yesterday. Finished it up, cried at the credits. Perfect season, no complaints. Loved it all. Beautiful messages throughout. Man, I know I've talked about it so many times, but what a magical show. What a good time. Beautiful. Just so beautiful. So if you've been holding out to watch the whole first season all in one run, it's on Crunchyroll. You can do it now. Like 92% of it is dubbed. By the end of next week, all of it would probably be dubbed, or maybe the week after. So go check it out. You're right, PC. PC says we all know that Mr. Mime radiates big dick energy. It's very
for
true.
sure. Absolutely.
So yes, Frieren has taken up your time, as has reading.
And grad
work,
school.
Yeah. School and
It's been I took a mental health day Monday. So that'll be nice.
We love it. People love it.
Yeah. How about you, Rummy? What have you been playing?
Oh, thanks for asking. As I have said earlier, I've been playing something that I can't talk about. It's an upcoming
Sure, whatever.
Visual novel, walking simulator, that I've been very excited about. It comes out on the 28th. Yes, it comes out on the 28th. I've been playing it. I can't talk about it. Wish I could. I will be able to in the next episode though. And then since I've been playing that for review, it's been taking up all of my time. And the only other thing I played was Fortnite because I play that with family and friends. So still having a lot of fun in Fortnite. Really, really, really enjoying the season. I like all the seasons, but something about this one scratches that itch in a few different ways. Remember, you can see some of our antics if you go to the Due's Views channel on YouTube. Subscribe there, and you'll get to hear me. You won't hear Dew because it doesn't record his voice, but you'll hear me, and you'll see Dew and some of the rest of us playing, and maybe Elube's in there every once in a while. You'll get to see what we're doing and what we're up to, and some of our weirdest, funniest, most impressive Fortnite sessions. So enjoy that if you want to. Hello, Ratmandu82. What a great name. I saw you typing for a second. My God, what a great name. So really, that's it, sadly. I wish I could tell you more, but I can't. Next week, I'll have a lot to talk about. Let's put it that way. So if you're wondering what I'm doing in Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm not. I haven't played it at all remake. I haven't played it at all this week because I was focused on work. Right, you see what Ratmandu says? Ratmandu says, Mom Brain has been clotheslining people so hard she's gotten bruises. Your arms. Yeah. Clotheslining people.
Yeah. You should see my boob.
I guess well, if you're doing a JBL, if you're doing a clothesline from hell, then your boob is probably bruised up too. But a regular
It's
clothesline.
just one though.
Yeah.
It's not the other one. You've been taking good care of. You've been dabbing my bruises with my.
The way you're saying this makes it
Arnica.
sound like I'm the one doing it. Like you've been taking good care of my bruises.
They're not from him.
Yeah.
But you've been taking good care of them for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, with your medicine stick, whatever it is. Not like a
it's
Native
Arnica.
American medicine stick, but
It's Arnica.
It's Guernica. So yeah, that's it for me. We got questions. Mom Brain. It's a regular question. I don't know what I'm saying. We're not there yet. Sorry.
Okay, good, because I was getting nervous.
Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com. goninpod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo video games in general or whatever the hell you want. Thank you, Mom Brain. Do appreciate it. Autumnal Blake loaded us up with questions, so I'm splitting it into a few weeks here. Question 1. Where is Josh's charging port? Well, Josh, I'll let you answer that.
That's none of your business.
I thought so. Number 2. You have to do one of the sports from any of the Wii Sports games in real life. Which one do you do? I want to do archery. I loved that archery game.
Have you ever done archery in real life?
I have not.
It's fun.
The most I've ever done is shot a Nerf crossbow.
Oh, well, how about the son of the man who co-owns the cookie place that we love built like a little Lego creature, alligator person to protect the cookie shop. And he told us yesterday, I was like, hey, tell me about this dude. I see him every time I come in here and he's holding a crossbow. And now that I look at it, it definitely is a crossbow.
Yeah, now we got to be on high alert when we go in there.
Yeah.
You guys watching. I just realized now I forgot to do the Patreon post thing. It's in my notes for the show. I'll do it after questions. Do you have an answer for this? Wii Sports, any Wii Sports game sport, what would you do?
Is there bobsled? I would love to do bobsled.
There's Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not adverse to
basketball, bowling, golf, chambara. No chambara. That's
definitely not golf. And basketball was never really like my thing.
Boxing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I probably could. I could take.
I could take me down now.
Well, but I mean, I could take a lot of punches and keep going. Like I got stamina.
Stamina. Would you eat Inkling ink spaghetti?
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
I would not.
I would eat dinner at Hannibal's.
Like you'd
house.
be able to talk to the Inkling, and they'd be like, "This is my ink."
As long as they willingly gave it, yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Which of the 51 worldwide classics, Moncala, and 50 other games do you wish was a real game? Oh man, I'd need to look at a list of like what's in there. Well, what's in there that's not a real game. I'm sure I'm blanking on some of them, but I need to look at a list. I should have done my research. Mom Brain, this question is all you. What's the best vegetable from the onion family? Ass onion?
Absolutely. I mean, are we talking like
Drake says, "What color ink would this inkling ink be?" That's a great question too, because there's
it's
green,
personal
pink,
to
orange,
each.
blue.
It depends on the inkling.
Ooh, man, I don't know. What's appetizing? What color is appetizing? Exactly.
Green, blue. I don't know.
I saw a TikTok this week that I told Mom Brain I'm going to try. There's this guy on TikTok who eats people's food suggestions, and they suggest things that their family likes. And somebody was like buttered spaghetti with powdered sugar. I'm in. I'll try it. It doesn't seem all that crazy. You throw in tomato sauce, it would be a little weird.
So I struggle in the morning with like nausea anyway.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion.
But
hi, Guy Bones.
I watched that TikTok in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because you sent it to me, and I like gagged watching it.
Well, to reverse that, how about that pizza we did?
Delicious.
You did. I ate.
PC's right. Shallots is the answer to Autumnal Blake's question.
We saw a TikTok from a woman who worked at
He
Pizza
saw
Hut.
the TikTok and sent it to me.
A woman who worked at Pizza Hut for a long time, and she had the recipe for the pan pizza. Obviously, they use a dough puck there, so you get your own dough. But she's got the sauce and she's got the cheese and all the other details. We use the sauce that we normally use just because we like that sauce, but the pizza was spot on for what a pan pizza is.
It was provolone and mozzarella.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything.
But again, if you want the sauce that Pizza Hut actually uses in this TikTok, she gives you the sauce too.
Well, I don't know if she said it was Pizza Hut specific. It was her sauce.
Based on what the whole thing is about her time at Pizza
Okay.
Hut. Yeah.
I'm sure we could also like Google like what
I will radical defect. Let me get it for you.
What like commercial jarred sauces taste most like Pizza Hut? Like
yes, I'm sure you could find that.
Yeah.
Because our sauce was great, but Pizza Hut sauce is definitely sweeter. So it wasn't radical defect. I'm sending it right now. There you go. If you guys want to test that out, please send your Discord pictures of your pizzas.
I should have taken a picture. It was like it had like a nice crust around the outside.
It was so good. It was so good. Shocking how much it tasted like Pizza Hut.
And I used store-bought dough, which I don't.
The dough was good.
Yeah, and I don't usually do that, but I was, not in the mood to be doing too much cooking.
It was good. It was great.
It was.
We'd eat it every day.
You go to Aldi later?
I do. I was going to ask you if you wanted to go somewhere later because the storm's over.
Yeah, let's go out.
We did it. Stronger than the storm.
It was no joke. I drove through a puddle on my way to the school that I was like, uh-oh, are we going to make it through here?
The basement was good. The buckets only got a tiny bit.
Excellent.
It was like rain for a long time, but not like hugely, huge downpours. There were times where it was
consistent.
Bad.
Yeah.
But look, we're out of the rain. We're done.
Yeah.
And then if you look right here on the on what I like to call the precipitation map, you can see that we're over.
Away.
That's it. We survived. Boy, was I nervous about that last night. But it worked out. All right. We also have a Patreon question. Mom Brain, did you know that you could join the Patreon
For $1.
for $1? Giant Reggie did. Thank you very much, Giant Reggie. Favorite potato chip, brand and flavor, go. I feel like you're going to have an answer right away.
This might be a real basic bitch answer.
Lay's. Plain. Lay's. Sour cream and onion. Salt and vinegar.
Lay's salt and
I
vinegar.
should have guessed salt and vinegar right away.
Although close second is the voodoo chips. And here's the thing about the voodoo chips is that I love eating them, but there's and it's never the same twice. Like I can't tell you when it's going to happen, but there is one chip that is the last good chip, and then the next one grosses me out. It's sort of like when I eat pork roll. all the bites are like divine, orgasmic until the one bite where it's like, this is too squeaky and squishy and I can't eat anymore.
No.
Yeah, PC. I'll get them for when we're reading smut and kicking butt.
Mom Brain, what is my favorite potato chip?
Your favorite potato chip is
Brand I don't really care about. Flavor I do.
barbecue.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect.
Come on, you know the answer. Think.
Pringles.
No, I said I don't care about the chip brand. It's the flavor. What am I always looking for? And it's surprisingly hard to find.
Salt and pepper
Salt
that
and pepper.
aren't kettle cooked. Although I do love a good kettle cooked chip.
I don't
You can just
mind.
hit this.
I don't mind kettle cooked, but salt and pepper is very hard to find. You can find salt and vinegar. You can find kettle salt and pepper, but just a regular salt and pepper, not a lot of stores have them. And I love a salt and pepper. So that's my answer. Oh, jeez. So yes, join the Patreon and you could get in on the fun. Now, here's what we talked about on Patreon this week. And I do mean we, because I post a topic and we all talk about it. And I reply to every comment that's left within the first 24 hours of the post. So I will reply to you, I promise. What I talk about this week, we talked about the last game you played that wowed you and wowed you in any way, from soundtrack to gameplay to a moment, whatever. Just the last game that wowed you in some way. I talked about Castlevania Revamped, which is a fan-made Castlevania game. I just randomly got a video for it on YouTube. The algorithm showed it to me, I guess because I saw that Super Mario Brothers CD video. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then YouTube was like, he likes fan games, show him. So Castlevania Revamped is a fan-made Castlevania game that just came out. I have it sitting on my desktop, but I haven't played it yet. But it looks really great. There's like a handful of ideas that are fresh for Castlevania. And it's mixed in with a whole bunch of traditional Castlevania stuff, like old school. I'm talking about like, Metroid, not Metroidvania, like the old level style based Castlevania. And it looks really fun. Like it looks really good. I'm very excited to give it a shot. So talked about that. I talked about manga and how cool it is, or manga, that it's so popular. And manga is like saying Mario for me, but Mario used to be so hard and sound weird, and now it doesn't. I think I have to force myself to say manga. If you look in the United States at the top charts for books every month, manga is always in the top 10, multiple entries, and usually number 1 as well. Manga is huge, just like anime is. And I think it's great that so many kids are like, let's go to Barnes & Noble, or let's go on Amazon. I want to buy the latest manga.
You know what? When we went to Barnes & Noble over the weekend, it was so lovely. It just was. I love Barnes & Noble, and it was just like such a lovely.
That's what spurred on my post on Patreon.
Yeah, lovely little visit, and like it was nice to look through some of the the manga section and just.
Well, because I said to you, the manga section is always popular. This time I literally had to sit in a seat and wait because the section was too crowded. There were too many people in there looking at things.
Surprisingly, no one approached you offering for you to fall into, which, by the way, she has not heard from. She's like, I'm not even good enough for your e-commerce MLM.
She'll get to it at some point.
Yep.
So yeah, the manga section at our Barnes & Noble was so packed that I had to sit in a chair and wait to get in because so many people were there. But I said to Mom Brain, I told her about it, but she hadn't seen it. Our local Barnes & Noble has a few staff that work there that are really into manga, and they take little index cards and they draw pictures on them and write notes about series that they really like. So hung on the shelves every so often, it'll be like one for Demon Slayer, one for Blue Lock, or one for Frieren or whatever. And it gives a description of what it's all about. But then there are other ones that were like great for beginners and stuff like that. Here, perfect if you've never read a manga before and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's not a thing they do at all Barnes and Noble. Just
I wish I had taken a
ours does.
picture of the one that I saw. I loved the illustrations. It like that's what I saw. I judged a book by its cover. But then when I like looked into it, the first few pages, it looked kind of fairy tale-ish and interesting. But then, I put it back
Oh,
because
you didn't tell me there was one you were interested in.
I
Now I
showed
want
it
to
to
know.
you. I was like, "Have you ever heard of this one?" And you were like, "No."
I
It
don't
was
remember.
it was near Freerin.
So it starts with F. So I wrote about that. That was just really cool. I also wrote about Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, which is the big Marvel game that's coming from Amy Hennig, the lady who wrote the Uncharted games. Now she's doing her own thing and she's spearheading this new Marvel game. We haven't got a gameplay trailer yet, but now we got like a story with in-game graphics trailer. The game visually looks great. The animation and lip syncing and facial animation in particular looks fantastic, which isn't any surprise. That stuff is important if you've watched or you played the Uncharted games and all that. So that's continuing on with Amy at her new project, but it just looks awesome. The game looks so damn cool. I want to see gameplay. I'm reserving judgment until we see gameplay, but as far as what we've seen so far, based on the cinematic trailer that announced it and then the in-engine story trailer, I'm so on board with it.
The
Obviously,
girl from the other side.
I'm a big Marvel fan, or a comic book in general, but I particularly like Marvel, so no surprise that I'm into it. But knowing that Amy Hennig, like a main writer for the Uncharted games, is doing this, I have great confidence in the story as well. So I am excited for that. I also talked about how I missed the Wii days, specifically because of the Wii remote, because the Wii remote for the games that really utilized it was something special. Like there was something so satisfying, say, for example, in Super Mario Galaxy, about moving the reticle with the IR pointer to collect the star bits. It just felt so good. And the noises coming out of the speaker along with it, something about that mechanic. It felt so good. And then the little waggle to make Mario spin. Man, it was really good. It just felt awesome. And you don't get that anymore. You can get some of that through the Joy-Con on the Switch, but nobody's really like implementing motion controls for anything, and especially anything meaningful. And that falls on Nintendo too. They don't really use motion controls for much of anything. Splatoon certainly uses motion controls, but Nintendo hasn't done like a big, like, here's a motion control game, or here's like an IR game. They had Nintendo Labo, and it certainly used it, but I've been a little disappointed in Nintendo when it comes to them not utilizing those features because I miss that stuff so much. World of Goo 2 is coming out, and that will have the pseudo Wii Remote style controls, which have to be recentered all the time. But it still works pretty good. Not as good as Wii Remote did, but it'll do the trick. So I'm excited about that. But I miss those Wii days, like those specific games that just use the little controller elements to make something special, like No More Heroes, where you got phone calls on the Wii Remote and you listen to it on the speaker on the Wii Remote. Sounded like, a greeting card speaker, but still, man, I loved it. So I miss those days. I really miss that, like, era of experimentation. We don't really have that anymore, which is kind of sad. And then last, I talked about something my brain has heard me gush about all week long. Or no, I guess since it came out 3 or 4 days ago. X-Men 97.
Oh yeah.
X-Men 97. There have been so many movies and TV shows that have been that are revivals. So something existed back in the day in the 80s or 90s, and then it goes dormant for decades, and then they're like, we're bringing it back. And it comes back and you're like, this part's okay, but this doesn't feel right, and this is off, and they don't have the tone right, or the humor's not right, or this is a cash grab. And there's been some that are good, but they missed the mark a little bit in some important ways. And there's been others where you're just like, oh, what did they do here? They clearly don't understand what's going on. I know I'm a Marvel fan, but I think, I'll be honest, no matter what, about my feelings at the very least. I'm not and I will not say, I'm never like, Nintendo made this, it's great because it's Nintendo and they do no wrong. Or Marvel made this, it's great because Marvel does no wrong. As I've said many times, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is my least favorite Marvel anything by far. That movie makes me incredibly angry in a whole bunch of ways. Secret Invasion, I really don't like. That also made me very angry. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 out of 10 if I was going to give it a number. So if I don't like something, I'll be honest about it. But X-Men 97, I have never seen a revival of a show more spot on than this one. It is exactly right in tone, in writing style, like visually, pacing, humor, the topics that are discussed. Absolutely shocking to me. Way surpassed my expectations. And I think some of it might have to do with X-Men 97 being the first real Marvel project or X-Men project that Marvel's doing as part of the MCU era. I know it's a cartoon, so it's not technically MCU, but still, we've had some mutant related things and some references to X-Men very quickly in some recent projects like Miss Marvel or The Marvels. Spoiler alert. But nothing that's like, here is an X-Men project. Obviously, we have Deadpool and Wolverine coming out. But X-Men 97 is like the first real one. And they killed it in every way. I have no complaints at all. It doesn't feel like a cash grab. It's not just a nostalgia trip. The show literally starts with it takes place right after the end of the original show. Like, it's the next day. And the way they've written it, the team that wrote this clearly has very high reverence and regard for the original series. And it's not just that. They understood what made it work. They understand why it was so beloved. They understand what went into it, and they understand the objectives of the show. Like, it's not supposed to be an all-out action show. There are action elements, but it's about story and characters and allegories for the modern world and the struggles that we go through. It's pitch perfect.
You said beloved, and I just wanted to say you're my beloved.
Well, isn't that sweet? I wish we had an oh, thank you very much.
We don't need an awe because those moments don't really happen all that frequently.
So
Wow!
blown away. The
Not
show
gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit.
topically made me cry. I knew when I heard and saw the intro, I was going to tear up a little bit from nostalgia stake, and because that's so ingrained in my memory. But story-wise and writing-wise, I did not expect to cry. I cried twice. I told my sister as soon as I watched the first 2 episodes. That's all that's available now. As soon as I finished it, I sent her a message and I was like, "You got to watch this." She knows about the original cartoon, but she didn't really watch it. She saw episodes here and there. But I was like, "You need to watch this. It's going to affect you." She got in touch with me after watching, and she said, I think her text was, "Welp, I didn't expect to cry in an X-Men show." And I was like, "I did too." And she said, "I cried here and here." And I said, "That's exactly where I cried." So it's waiting for Mom Brain to see it. And I don't take my word for it.
Ba-dum-bum.
You could take the audience and critic word for it. You don't have to, but I'm just trying to be like, it's not just me. If you think I'm a fanboy and I'm just going to say like, it's great, as I've tried to explain, that's not the case for me. As of right now, hey, on Rotten Tomatoes, audience score is at 92%. Critic score 44 reviews, 100%. So, come on. It's so impressive from a standpoint of bringing a series back and making it feel right. Not a shell. It doesn't miss the mark. It's not off. It doesn't feel awkward. It tells everything. I can't remember the last time I was so excited for a show, like the next episode of a show. When I finished the second episode, I was like, oh God, I don't want to wait a week for the next episode. Like, that pull is right there. Love this show. So of course I wrote about it on Patreon. If you want to read more, or if you want to hear more detailed thoughts on why I love the show, you can go read it over there for $1. But
For $1.
But that's it, my friends. That's all we got. I'm sorry.
Hey, we saw Dune.
Did we not talk about that?
We saw it after the podcast last week, didn't we?
Well, if you want to, I mean, we got plenty of time. You can talk about Dune if you want. Go right ahead.
May thy knife chip and shatter. Knife blade. It was great. Had a blast.
We saw it with Dew.
Yeah, had a blast. There
Dew.
were
Like Dew.
we speak your name.
Dew.
There were a couple of moments in that movie that were just like, yes. Like so great. Really great story. Really well told. I've
Like seeing that little twink ride that worm, yeah.
Twinks aren't my thing, but he,
Ride my worm, Timothy.
I mean, I don't think there's spoilers. Nice. Here, because it's a book. I don't like them as much good as I like them bad. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was excellent. Admittedly, I have not read the books because they feel
Big.
they feel like a lot of work because there's like a lot of, words that I'm not familiar with and names and like places, and it's really comes down to like when a book is like geographically and politically centered, like when that's a big part of the story, I have a hard time, and it's all, fantasy or sci-fi. I mean, I have a hard time doing it when it's based in, like actual places and politics, but that stuff gets like real complicated for me and I have no like framework to put it in. But now I think that I've seen the movies, that might help me to like have a better frame of reference for the books. So I may try them again.
And I love the movie. I really liked the first movie, but I wasn't as crazy about it as everybody was, or it's, majority was. The second movie really did it for me. Like I liked the second movie considerably more. A few pacing complaints, but nothing bad at all. It was a very, very enjoyable movie. One of those movies that is a popcorn movie and you want to see it in the theater because it's such a spectacle, but also a movie that's very
especially with that
introspective
sandworm bucket
and serious and, lots to discuss and pick apart. So it's rare that you get movies that a single movie that goes into both elements. So Nikki Hill has the popcorn bucket now.
Does he?
Yes.
I looked for it at our theater, but
He's
they
got
didn't
it.
have it.
He's got it, and he's got the intrusive thoughts. Let's just leave it at that.
Didn't something happen funny at no, never mind.
Okay. That's all we got. We're definitely not gonna do spotlight if he were to have a something from a Spiders or Flies. We're not doing music because it's just me.
I just wonder if this week it would have been true though.
No, they've never been true. Why would this week be different?
I don't know.
But yeah, that's what we got, my friends. Sorry when it's just me for most of the show, and then yeah, the magic of the show is everybody else and them harassing me and lovingly being playful with me and us getting into good conversations back and forth. So
because we all love you.
it's just me this week.
As I say to Piper, so very much.
Very, very.
We tell Piper all the time. We say, "Oh, what else do we say to Piper? What does she hear a lot?"
Everybody loves her. The people love her.
It's Piper. Everybody loves her. The people love her.
She ate her slop. She's sleeping in a box. All right. That's it, people. We're done here. We'll do a little after show about what I don't know, but we'll do a little bit. So next week we'll be back to usual. There will be people here, I promise. Yes. Easter's Sunday.
Yeah.
Radical Defect says I will miss the show next week because I have to work on Easter Saturday. I'm not a fan of this. Oh. Take it up with E. Bunhams, the Easter Bunny. Maybe he can do something for
Zipper. Take it up with Zipper.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. After show. Anything, Mombry? Oh, hi, Darmani.
I can't think of anything.
Anything more about Freerin?
It's just so soothing. It's such a soothing show to watch. And I don't want people to equate that with boring, because
it's not boring at all.
Yeah.
No, but it's not like an action-packed show, but it is. I think the episodes being 22 minutes really helps because, they're very nicely paced, but, in 22 minutes, you get a nice arc of things that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they do maybe I shouldn't say that. The final episode, Freerin has a lot of sentimental elements, and the final episode certainly has that. Final episode of first season again. But man, I was walking on the treadmill watching it, and I was bawling. I was absolutely bawling at the end of it And I was like, well, now's my chance because who knows? Anime can be like, here's the next season next year, or it could be like, here's the next season in 6 years. So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe now's the time to get into the manga and pick up from where it is and read those. So I'm gonna look into it because I don't know that I can wait because I really want to know what happens. I'm watching more Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm like 7 or 8 episodes into the second season. This season, I loved the first season, but this second season, things are ratcheted up a notch. Definitely, it just feels more important and higher stakes. And there's a character arc in particular where you're like, oh, this is tough to watch, but in a good way. So I'm enjoying that. But yeah, now that I finished Frieren, that frees me up for another anime. So where do I go? I got a whole list of things to watch in general, but I also have a ton of anime on it. I will read it to you and then I will leave you alone and you can enjoy the rest of your day, or you could go right now. Let me see what is on my anime. Ergo Proxy, Dominion, which is an old one, Gunbuster, another old one. One Piece. You know, if I start One Piece, I'm going to be doing it for years, but I will start it. Violet Evergarden, I got to get back to. I really liked that, and then I got busy and fell off. Pluto, I want to see. Tengoku Makio looks amazing. It looks so cool. It's on Hulu. I got to check that out. Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury. Really interested in that. Never watched a Gundam series before, but I want to, and this one looks amazing. What else? Anime. Bungo Stray Dogs, which I've never gotten into, and it's always been on my list. Kara in Resonance, Sandland, which just came out, and one on my list that I want to watch, but it doesn't come out until October. Dan, which is a really cool trailer too. So much to watch, so much to do. I feel like I'm in a great spot right now with entertainment. Like there's so much to watch that I'm really into, and so many games that I'm playing that I really like, and it's a great feeling. Do says Frieren was so good and very watchable. This is coming from Do, the ultimate gaijin. So yeah, it gets a stamp of approval from me, the anime dork, the weeb, Mom Brain, who is whatever.
Notice me,
What do you mean who is whatever?
You're not a weeb and you're not a weeb.
I like what I like.
And it comes from Do, who I say with peace and love can be tough to please, but he really liked it. So you run the gamut there. So it's going to be that show that I constantly nag people about because it's that good and it's a perfect entry level for everybody. Sandland, I don't know if it's on Disney Plus, Drake, in the United States. I believe it's on Hulu, but it is here. I know it's here. Darmani says Ergo Proxy is it finishes and starts strong. All right, I can work with that. Yeah, so I'm like I've said, I've watched anime since I was in high school. My anime awakening was I watched Dragon Ball,
Fooly Cooly,
Pokemon, and all that. But before Fooly Cooly, I saw Ghost in the Shell and Vampire Hunter D. Like the interest in anime was always there.
PC says, I like the animes with specific titles that like that time I was a dog and it pooped and now I'm the poop.
There are a lot like that. It's true. But yes, Fooly Cooly was like I saw Akira long before any of that. So I had seen anime and anime movies, but Fooly Cooly was one. Fooly Cooly is certainly an anime, but it was something that was like, this is like really special. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop I had seen, Neon Genesis Evangelion I had seen, so it's always been there. Ice Dilber says, I'm thinking about getting some Spy Family manga tomorrow. Birthday coming up. Mom Brain and myself are going with my mom and my aunt to see the Spy Family movie when it comes out because my mom and my aunt both watch Spy Family and they like it. Mom Brain likes Spy Family as well. I was going to say, the whole point of me saying how long I've been into anime, I feel like I'm in my anime era right now. Like I'm really like, anime is so popular and there's so much out there and there's so much good stuff and there's so many unique ideas and it's so easy to get that it just blows my mind all the time. I can't believe that it's happening now and it's so popular because it was so not popular, so not cool, which doesn't matter to me, but you would get, if I didn't get enough, oh, it's Aftershow. If I didn't get enough shit back then for being into video games, which I got a ton of shit for, anime was worse. There were only a couple people that knew I liked anime, and they really, it's just wild.
Was
It's
Stu
wild.
Michaels one?
No, I was thinking more like late. He had his opinions about it, but they
Yeah.
weren't different from anybody else really back
Yeah.
then. But no, I don't remember him doing anything. It's people I wouldn't consider friends even back then, but it's, you're in a group of people, they got other people they're friends with, and you see them. So
Like a friendship of proximity.
exactly. All right. PC says Cole got a Crunchyroll account, so we're going to be rocking and rolling. Crunchyroll is by far the streaming service I'm happiest that I paid for. I get more use out of Crunchyroll than anything else. I use Crunchyroll pretty much every day because of the treadmill. I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen or Frieren or any of the other series that I've been watching. I did not watch Delicious in Dungeon, and that's when I meant to add on my list. Thank you. I'm going to put that on my list right after the show. But like I said, Frieren's over for now, so it opens up room for another one. I'm doing Jujutsu Kaisen and something on my list. I'm going to take everything on my list and do a random thing and just whatever it comes up with. That's what I'm going to start.
I'm looking through thrift books for
Frieren?
used copies. Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
look like
have
there's
to.
a compendium.
I don't think there is. No,
Yeah.
I need to look up. I'm
'Cause,
sure
like-
someone's written about it. Where wherever season 1 ends. Hi, Kufu.
But like, are you okay starting with that, or would you rather like? Are you going to be like, I still
I'm okay
want...
starting with it now, but
Yeah.
eventually I would like to have the whole series. Yes. So, Kufu, so sorry you're here and we're leaving, but that's it, everybody. That's all we got for today. Thanks for joining us. Sorry again for the shorter than usual show, but you know the circumstances now. So next week back to usual. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. We got to do the do for do. Goodbye,
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.